Breaking news, more explosions in Ukraine. The situation continues to escalate and the world watches with bated breath. Russia's relentless aggression shows no signs of stopping. The cycle of violence continues unabated. Another shocking explosion has rocked Ukraine. The devastation is heart-wrenching and the impact is far-reaching. The frequency of these attacks is alarming and deeply troubling. The cycle of violence continues with no end in sight. Calls for peace seem to fall on deaf ears. World leaders appear unable to halt the aggression. This latest attack has everyone on edge, especially in Ukraine. The constant threat of violence is a heavy burden to bear. Ukrainians are just trying to live their lives, and then another explosion shatters their sense of normalcy. The fear and uncertainty are palpable, disrupting everyday life. Official details are still pending, but the situation is fluid and rapidly changing. Buildings are damaged, people are scared, and the world watches and waits for what comes next. Speaking of Putin, our favorite former KGB agent turned president has been rather chatty lately. He's been making headlines with his bold statements and controversial actions. When he's not busy denying war crimes, he's busy rejecting peace talks. It's almost as if he thrives on the chaos and conflict. That's right, folks. Putin doesn't want to talk about it. He seems to believe that silence and defiance are the best strategies. He says Ukraine is illegitimate, which is a bit rich, coming from a guy who literally invaded a sovereign nation. The irony is palpable. It's like me saying your house is illegitimate because I want to park my tank in your living room. The absurdity of the situation is almost laughable. The logic just isn't there. It's a twisted narrative that leaves everyone scratching their heads. Meanwhile, Zelensky is over in Ukraine, probably thinking, is this guy serious? The frustration must be immense. And honestly, who can blame him? The international community is equally baffled. It's tough to negotiate with someone who thinks the rules don't apply to them. The path to peace seems more elusive than ever. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom over in Eastern Europe. Ukraine has decided to fight fire with, well, drones. That's right. They launched a massive drone attack on Russian oil facilities and even threw in a nuclear power plant for good measure. Now, before you start panicking about a Chernobyl 2.0, let's all take a deep breath. Ukraine says they knew what they were doing and the nuclear reactors weren't in any danger. Still, it's a bold move, and one that has Russia shaking in its boots. Or at least, that's what we assume is happening under Putin's very serious, very intimidating table. Section 4, Kim Jong-un sends love letters and artillery to Putin. And if you thought this story couldn't get any weirder, buckle up. North Korea has decided to join the party. And by party, I mean sending artillery to Russia. Because nothing says bromance like supplying weapons for a totally not a war. We're not sure what Kim Jong-un is hoping to gain from this, besides maybe a sternly worded letter from the UN. But hey, at least he's found someone who understands his love for parades and questionable human rights records. It's a match made in, well, let's just say it's a match. Section 5, can someone tell Ukraine to clean up its act? Okay, this next part is a bit awkward, but someone has to say it. Dear Ukraine, we love you, we really do. Your spirit and determination are truly inspiring. You're brave, you're resilient, and you make a mean bowl of borscht. Your culture and traditions are rich and beautiful, but your defense procurement process? It's a mess. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. We get it, war is expensive, and you're trying to keep track of all those javelins we sent you. It's a tough job, no doubt. But the West is getting a little concerned about all these rumors of corruption. It's making us uneasy. It's like your friend lending you their car and then finding out you've been using it to deliver contraband cabbage rolls. It's not a good look. Not cool, Ukraine, not cool. We need to see some changes. So please, for the love of all that is holy, clean up your act. Get your house in order. We want to keep supporting you, but we also need to make sure our taxpayer dollars aren't ending up in some oligarch's offshore account. Just saying, we believe in you, Ukraine, but it's time to step up and show the world you can handle this responsibly. And there you have it, folks. Another week, another round of international intrigue and geopolitical drama. Stay tuned for next week's episode, where we'll probably be talking about this exact same stuff. Because let's face it, the world is a mess, and there's no sign of it getting any less.